Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about debate and how to debate on a certain topic called free healthcare. Now, before we get into actual debating and how to build an argument, we need to first go through some of the debate landscape first. So for that, we're going to go into what are we debating? And to understand that, we need to understand what is healthcare. So with this type of topic, with free healthcare, there are usually two sides to these kinds of arguments. These are, should governments provide free healthcare, or who should pay for their own medical treatment? Should it be the government, or should it be themselves? So in simple terms, whenever people get sick, should the country, leaders and all, pay for their health care, or should the people pay for it themselves when they get treated? Now, so this topic is important, and you need to mention this because it affects people's health, their own mentality, as well as their economic situations as well. So, health, economy, and of course, the communities as well. Now, so there are two main sides to this. There's an agree, yes, government should provide free healthcare, and there's a few ideas that this side should have. Government should provide free healthcare, which includes equality, social protection, and community health, or the disagree side, which government should not provide free healthcare because of the cost, the overcrowding, and of course, the personal responsibility that a person should have towards their health. Now, before we actually get into how to debate on both of these sides, we should probably first figure out what words we should use when we talk about them. A strong argument starts with strong vocabularies. You need to be accurate when you are using vocabularies, especially when you talk about things that have a lot of special terminologies like healthcare. What is healthcare? Well, healthcare is a system of medical treatment. If you have healthcare, you will get doctor visits, you will get prescription medication, you will also get things like hospital insurances and all of that. Now, human rights. What is that? When you are born and you are given certain rights, a right to live, a right to marry, a right to healthcare. So you are owed the right to do that because you are a human. Now, overcrowded. So overcrowded is an adjective. It describes the situation or the state of having too many people or things. So having too many people or things, that's sort of an uncomfortable situation, isn't it? Now, taxes. So you guys might have heard of taxes a lot, especially if you read or watch the news. However, what are taxes? To put it simply, they are money that you pay to your government, to your leaders. Now, productivity. What is that? You've heard a lot about people going, oh, I should be really productive. Your productivity should be increasing every day. Productivity means the amount of work that you can get done in whatever amount of time. And it's about how much you can do in that amount of time, which proves how productive you are. Now, a waste of money means that you are spending money for no reason or no benefits at all. So, if you guys can use these vocabularies, there are a lot more, but these are the most important when you mention or when you want to debate the arguments that we are going to speak about here. So after we get to the key vocabularies, the other thing is to go over how to actually debate. So first, to start off your debate, you should start off with a main argument. So what is a main argument? The main argument is basically the title to your debate. Like if your debate was a book, what would people see at the first look at it? So if you were the agree side, your main argument or your title would be government should provide free healthcare to protect people's basic needs. That means government should provide free healthcare so that people can have whatever they want at a very simple, basic level. Now, if you are on the disagree side, you could say that government should not provide free healthcare because it reduces its system's quality. That means that if the government provides free healthcare, that free healthcare would not really be that good. So after we have our main arguments, we should pretty much try to explain that, right? A main argument is comprised of little smaller arguments to explain why the big one is correct. So, well, let's move on to why they are important. Main arguments are important because they guide all of that small little arguments. They help you figure out, what are all of these little ideas supposed to prove? They're supposed to prove that the main argument is right. And it also keeps you focused. If you don't use a main argument, all of your supporting arguments seem all over the place. They don't seem to prove anything. They just there. So, and it also helps your speech easier to follow. Whenever someone loses track or gets distracted or confused by your little arguments, they can always go back to the main argument and go, that's what he's trying to prove. That's why you have all these little ideas. So, with those little ideas comes the main argument formula. Of course, with a main argument, there's also going to be at least 2 or 3 supporting arguments, and then you will have your examples that proves that supporting argument and a counter argument. What's a counter argument? We'll go over that very, very quickly. But first, we have to go over what makes up a supporting argument. So a supporting argument is usually made up of 3 elements. It's claim, reason, and evidence. A claim is, well, what's your point? A reason is why is your point correct? So you can explain away because, but you can also add some more questions to that. How is it correct? How does it make itself become correct? And what exactly is the element to your point that makes it correct? And then we go over the evidence. You give proof and you tell me why that proof proves that your claim is correct. Now, that's why a strong argument needs to prove that, 1, if a government provides for poor people, they should also probably be able to provide for everyone. And that's why your side is right. See, a claim, a reason, and then you can give an example of a poor or sick family, a situation, or even a real life one in order to prove that this is correct. For disagree, the same thing. If you say, if you claim that if people get free healthcare, then hospitals will have too many people, then you need to explain that if people get free healthcare, they can visit the doctor anytime they like, which makes the doctor have to deal with a lot of people. That means Do serious patients get more time with the doctor? Probably not. And then you give a situation about why that is bad, or a situation in real life where that has happened. And that will prove that your point is correct. Now, next up, your rebuttals. The rebuttals are the counter-arguments that has been mentioned before. So, rebuttals are basically a claim that the other team's points are wrong. So it starts off with saying, they say, for example, that government should be providing free healthcare because it protects human rights. But actually, you can always say actually when you try to describe or explain why it's wrong. But actually, it can drain government budgets, making them lose money because taxes must increase to pay for it. And people are not going to like that. With disagree, you can always go. They say hospitals will be overcrowded, but actually, early treatment from free healthcare reduces emergencies. That means life-threatening situations because people solve small problems before they become serious. Now, with that said, you can always provide real-world examples. This will be very good for your evidence. Canada and the UK provides free healthcare. The US provides partial healthcare, which some are free, but most are not, and you have to pay for it. And Vietnam is in the case of it providing free healthcare, but you will have to pay for it, at least in taxes. Now, so with that said, before we end this little video, you have a little bit of a mission to do. This is that mission. You will first use all of the knowledge that you have made from this video. You can watch it again. Don't worry, this is not going to be some sort of test. You can watch it again, study what one main argument is, what supporting arguments are, what claim, reasoning, evidence is, and then what counter argument is. And then you can create it yourself. You can start off with a main argument, and then another day you can create a supporting argument, and then a second one. And then once you figure out what the other side is going to say, you can make one counter argument. It can be for any topic. You can do something about bananas, or something about your favorite foods are healthy. You guys like fried chicken, and you guys want to prove that it's healthy. So you guys can do that using this structure. So with that said, thank you very much everyone for sticking around with me for this video, and I hope that I can help you become a better debater. So go on, debate all you want, and use the structure that has been taught to you, as that is going to be something that you will need in your journey. So bye-bye everyone.